Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Are You Relevant is sponsored and brought to you by Legacy. Legacy is a uprising and upcoming Roblox Wrestling Federation that turns even the shittiest pro wrestlers into superstars, into main eventers, into legends, into future Hall of Famers. Folks, this is the future of Roblox Wrestling. This Fed is going to be the pillar of our community for generations to come. And the reason I say that is because of this. This Fed has some incredible and experienced staff team members that has experience in taking people who have not yet established themselves or not yet built a name for themselves and building them up from the ground up. That is what makes legacy legacy. It allows for you, regardless of your background or your experience or even your skill, to come in and have fair booking, fair opportunities, and cement a legacy for yourself. And so if you're looking for a Fed to boost your career, to start your career, or even continue your career, then Legacy is the place to be. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy TJ Shoemaker here. Welcome back to another episode on the Are You Relevant Talk Show and podcast. In today's video, as you've seen from the title and the thumbnail, we got one of the most known inspirational superstars in the Roblox wrestling community. We got KinqBest on the channel. It's a pleasure to have you. How are you doing today, big dog?
Hello, yeah, I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. We also, ladies and gentlemen, this is his actual first debut podcast. He's a new hired exclusive co-host that will be working with the Are You Relevant podcast. He just recently returned to Roblox Wrestling as well. Ladies and gentlemen, JB Bradford.
Yo,
What's good, big dog?
what's up, guy?
I'm gonna actually let you have the first question to kick things off.
All right.
I'll let you take it away.
All right. Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Go. Yo, King, bro. I've been a fan of your work, gang. I just want to put that out there before we start, for sure.
Word.
Yep, bro. I wasn't like around like when you were like, and then like the earlier days, like I came around like 2021, 2022.
21.
So like
All right.
DWE days, like maybe like RWA days type, the OPRW run.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Big money. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
First question, man. You're known for a couple of things in the community. One thing that you're known for is Fed owning and Fed developing. Now, how did you come about doing so? Like, what made you like?
Well, it's a cool story. I haven't explained this to a lot of people, but I got into owning a Fed. And I got into like pro wrestling like games. Like that's how I got into pro wrestling in like 2016. There used to be like a couple like WWE like 2K games that were on Roblox. So that's how when I was like 11 years old, I would just go in there and just fuck around because I was a wrestling fan. And then in around 2017, middle 2017, the first time I ever went to a Fed. It's a really cool story as well. I went to this Fed called MPW, National Professional Wrestling, and I had my first match there. And it's kind of crazy. So my first match was against Wyatt Parker. When he was like 8 years old. I was at that Fed for about a month, and then the Fed ended. And I really enjoyed that Fed so much to the point where I made my own Fed, and I knew absolutely nothing about like developing or anything. I started hosting my Fed in like Gym of Tragedy, like private servers. I started from like the very, very, very bottom. And I never programmed in my life. I never coded or did anything in my life prior to that. Like I learned everything just sort of with my own Fed, like my first initial years. So,
Damn, twin. You
yeah,
obviously have a lot of experience. Clearly, I mean, you're a Fed owner. You
yeah.
develop these these softwares, if you will, to catch cheaters, which was one of my first questions.
Mm.
Of course,
All right.
you are very prevalent when it comes to catching cheaters in the Roblox wrestling community, and it has become a overwhelming problem in our community. Um, Literally every single day, there's probably someone being caught by because they cheated. They're being released. They're being suspended. Their titles being vacated, and it's just a cesspool of cheater. So, what
Oh
gave
yeah.
you the passion, or what gave you the start to start catching these cheaters?
Oh man, I started catching cheaters around the BPW, but we didn't have that many cheaters back then, like in 2020. We had a couple, like you could do some basic stuff and then we get caught because nobody was really that advanced. But nowadays, like people got a lot of good shit now, man. Cheating now, it's changed so much. But the best you can do is just try and catch them off guard. I mean, I don't think it's ever going to end unless Roblox wants it to end, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Because if they don't put a stop to it, all we could try and do is fight back against it. I mean, I've done my best. I'm still working with a good team of people right now. I can't really reveal like too much on catching cheaters right now, just because I like to keep it more private, just to make it harder for like the cheaters and stuff.
Understandable.
But I'm always working on new stuff. I've never really tried stopping. Maybe it's been a little slow right now. That's just because there's just a lot of cheats. Right? It's so much stuff that comes into cheating. So
And
it's a kind of like a cat and mouse game.
yes, sir. I also want to talk about that because that's a huge thing, dude. Like cheating in pro wrestling, right?
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Why do you think so many people want to cheat? Like, is it because they gain an ego from it because they're winning their matches? Is it because they see their
Oh,
friends doing it and they think that they're cool? Or what do you think is the main reason why people cheat?
oh yeah, that's a good question. People cheat for glory because maybe their ego wants to do it, or they just want to win. I mean, this is a competitive game. We're wrestling. There's a lot of feds. There's a lot of big titles to win, and people don't want to like. Nobody likes to lose. I've been on the other side of that before too, and I was a lot younger, and I did like a lot of stupid stuff. I cheated too. I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't. Um, but it becomes sort of like an ego thing. People want to win. It's kind of like human nature. So I see why people do it. Doesn't justify it being okay though.
JB, I know you really wanted to get on this topic.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yo, King, bro. Like, I don't know, man. I was like I said, I was a big fan of your work. When you
Yeah.
were no, especially in OPRW. Uh, I know that you've like made some things to like kind of like detect cheaters and like I know you sold cheats before. You told me like you sold cheats
Mm-hmm.
before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Then like if that's the thing that happened with the cheats go, also known as Juice
Mm-hmm.
Slayer.
Drewstein. Yep.
Yep. He you sold him those cheats
I didn't
and
sell it to him actually. I actually did. We were friends. Me and Cheese Scope. We still talk to each other today sometimes.
okay.
And he was just kind of bored at the time, so I just gave him cheats. And if you've ever been in a call with Cheese Gope or you've ever like met him personally, he just has a way of just sort of bullshitting you. And he didn't get caught until I kind of exposed him because I was put against the wall with multiple people confronting me at that point because I was like one of the
Yeah.
few people defending him. So he got away with that shit for like a good 4 to 5 months, just blatantly cheating. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So, the big question that everybody wants to know: did you cheat during your OPRW?
Yeah, only one match though. So it's a, it's
Slow
a,
down
it's a, it's a,
fast,
it's an
sir.
interesting topic. It's an interesting topic. Yeah,
Uh-oh now.
Oh,
I can tell
wow.
you. So it was 2023, and this is when Roblox just cracked down on Synapse. It was like 2023 was a cool time where you could like there was like no cheaters for a good amount of time because like nobody could really cheat because everything got like taken down. So I went. This is how I first got into OPRW. I went to it and I was just kind of trolling, and I won like the TV title, and that's sort of like the defense title. You get like a certain number of
Yeah.
defenses, and eventually you defend, you can get a title shot. So I went for 8, or I think it was 10 actually. It was you get a world title shot. So I got 10. Um, and I was going to use my shot on the world heavyweight title because I just kind of liked that belt. I thought it looked nicer. And
Yeah.
I was going to cash it on whoever won the chamber. And to be fair, bro, I was lucky. I was really, really fucking lucky. I think the final, I wasn't there, but the final two was like Light Lord versus Ked. If Ked would have won that, yeah, he would have rocked my shit. I'm going to be real. Like, I would have lost. I had absolutely nothing. But Light Lord ended up winning the thing. And
Wow.
all respect to Light Lord, but I had the better edge there and I beat him. Um, then to the cheating part, I held the title up until Mania. What was that? Mania 5? Yeah, OPW was on Mania 8. Mania 5. I wasn't really on the staff. I was just getting into the staff team, and I walked in as world champion. This is when I had like the new big money gimmick and everything, and I just turned 18 at the time, and I was like, damn, I haven't been training. Michael's about to beat my ass. So I made this quick thing the night before because I didn't want. If I was gonna lose, I didn't want to lose badly. It was like that kind of thing because I had a
Yeah.
decent reign at that point, and I made a thing that when I pressed the button on my keyboard, it would change my health to 130. So I fought Michael, and the match went to like 5-5, and I pressed it, and Ze and Leroy had like my health logs. The whole like they were all checking for me because they all thought I was cheating before that. So they checked like my health logs, and they said I had 130, and they kind of just removed me from the match. I never admitted to it
Wow.
until months later, but that's what happened. That's the true
So like
story.
you've never like use cheats. Like that's just a health lock. Like you've
Yeah,
never
yeah,
used
yeah.
like
I
cheats.
never like to win the world title. Never did it. Prior to that, when I was active in wrestling a couple years before that, like in AP or WW,
Yeah,
never cheated. No,
never cheat. So
I'm a big guy against cheating. Believe it or not. Yeah.
like you've obviously had access to like to cheats after we've talked before. So like you've never
Yeah,
like were
yeah.
tempted to test them or anything like
I'm
that.
a pretty competitive guy. I play, a couple games outside of Roblox, and I always understand why people get mad at cheating. But like, even in APRW, like towards the end, like the final 2 months is when I really got access to executors and cheats. I still never. I had too much respect for Mox, who was like
Yeah.
running mayhem at the time, and too much respect for the Fed to cheat.
Okay.
Didn't feel like cheating. Same with BPW.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you've mentioned BPW, APRW. Well, could you
Yeah,
tell me your favorite APRW and BPW match?
that I was in or watched.
That you can do both. You can do both. Like
Okay, okay, okay.
you can do both. Yeah.
Ooh, best match. Okay, best match I've ever been in is obviously when I won the APRW US title. That was
Okay.
pretty cool. I swept Twisted K or Kyle Destroyer. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but cool former RCW World Champion, cool guy.
Yep. Yep.
Big moment. And then another moment is when I won the BPW Worldwide title. I fought Max Navarro. He went up 4-0 against me, and I came back
Ooh.
and won 5-4.
Yo, was Max
Um,
tough back then?
Max was decent at the time. He was
Okay.
pretty good. I just got back from being off of wrestling for 2 months. I got the title shot, went down 4-0, locked in, won 5-4. I lost the title to
Okay.
Matt Ashford. It was like a 2 month reign, but it was cool. My
Oh,
favorite match to ever watch. It's I have a lot too because I've seen a lot of matches, but my favorite match ever is Ken O'Brien versus Core at Winter Bash 2023. I think that's my favorite match to watch.
for opiate. I
Yeah.
said I had said APRW, but
Oh, an
OPRW
APRW? Oh,
was
yeah,
a
I mean,
great topic as well.
APRW, I can give you that one. It's probably WrestleMania 5, APRW Mania 5. It was the fatal four way between Damon Nation for the world title. That's a great match to watch.
Yeah, that match was definitely amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, Speaking of which, there's this like question going on around the community. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
still around like currently, but it was kind of like aspiring around the community. It was talking about like what's better, OPRW or APRW?
Oh, that's too much of a debate. I think that kind of comes down to what people like better. Obviously, the times have changed, but
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
always considered this much, right? You could be the best in your era, and I think really the three best feds of all time for their era was RCW, APRW, and OPRW. I'm thankful that I was able to go to all of them at one point and was actually able to view all of them. All of them were incredible. I think OPRW in some aspects do a lot better than APRW. I think
Yeah.
APRW in other aspects do better in OPRW. I think it's kind of more just opinion, what you like better, more subjective.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let me ask you this now.
Yeah.
If you don't mind going into detail, not like super detail, but like any like cheaters in the community that like you've personally helped like expose, like could you like maybe give us some
Those
intel on that? Yeah,
like recently or just overall?
like overall, it doesn't have to be recent. Like you don't have to like
Overall, shit. I mean, all of them. Anything you see, any release you see on Twitter by the OPRW account was made by me.
wow.
Yeah, I kind of go to ATG. I tell ATG what happens when I get info on somebody. I have no personal grudges against cheaters either. Like there's so many people that cheat that I like generally fuck with. It's just if you're good at cheat, I'm not gonna let you fight in my fed. That's kind of how it goes.
Okay.
It could either be from me catching you, other people catching you, or from anything. I always say there's a zero tolerance to cheaters here in OPRW. So
Okay. Now, another question, kind of leading like kind of on top of that one.
mhm.
Um, you have a zero tolerance for cheaters. How does like a cheater go and like, oh, I want to like I'm clean. It's been a little bit of time. I want to come back to OPRW. Like, how does that work for you?
So there's many ways you can get around. So I like to there's a two right now it's a two strike system for OPW. If you get caught the first time, depending how bad you cheated, it's a certain time you're suspended for. And if you're caught cheating a second time, um, you're done. You're pretty much off. Like you just can't come back at that point. We have offered this to people, and I think it's a fair thing. I'm not going to name the people that have done it, but it's not many. It's very few. Some people may find it fishy, but it's my way of sometimes catching more cheaters. Typically, when you catch a cheater, they're affiliated with either a group or just a certain supplier. And usually I offer them earlier time to come back if they give me more information on who they're shooting with or who their supplier is. I do reward people that do talk. Maybe that's not the best thing to say publicly, but I mean, I'm kind of done with the Pro Wrestling thing in a month or so. So I'm just doing what I have to do.
Yeah, very understandable. Yeah. So how did you go about like even like becoming a dev like OPRW?
Oh, for OPRW or in general? Because
For OPR, you can tell me both because I know you mentioned like you had like access to the game or whatever while you were fighting. So like obviously like you were deving before like you started fighting. So could you like give us a little insight on that?
Yeah, I can give you an insight of how I sort of got into OPRW. So I came to OPRW 2023, and at the time I was a little disappointed with the way the community was going because, excuse me, it didn't feel as right as it was. I've always wanted people to enjoy sort of what I had with APRW. So at the time, I forget the Fed a couple of times. There was two Feds. This is after EWE ended. It was OPRW, and I think it was PWO. And I was kind of working. I was not working, but looking at them, and I was trying to determine which one I believe would like be maybe the few, like who has that chance to become the number one Fed. And PWO on the inside and just Fed wise looked so much better than OPRW at that time because OPRW was just eternally, I think, all over the place. But ATG had a lot of talent. He's probably the most talented Fed owner that we've ever had in the community. Like he can do everything very well. And I literally got working with the Fed. I would talk to the staff was like Reese, ATG, and Wide, and I did it in a nice way. I kind of just bullied them, telling them what they were doing wrong all the time. And eventually, I think Reese and Wide left or got fired. I forget what happened directly between them. And that's when ATG put in Vegas for a little bit. He had a short time, about a year and a half of being the COO before I got it. And then me and Ken joined the staff team. That's kind of where I started getting my position in OPRW. And then eventually a year later, I would take over Vegas's role as the COO. I kind of took over lead developer as soon as I got in because ATG had nobody else. So I just kind of took the forefront of it.
Interesting. Yeah. What do you exactly do on the dev team for OPRW? What exactly do you
do? I do a little bit of everything. So anything that ATG has issues with, like on a scripting or programming issue, I'm always there fixing it. Planning, ATG ever needs anything like help, ideas, or like creatively like blocked, I write it. Sometimes I'll write storylines if they need to happen. I controlled for a major time in OPRW, sort of like the IC division. Sometimes I would touch a lot of the world divisions if they needed help. So I've been all over the place as a developer and sort of just a show planner. So
okay, could you maybe give us a little insight on a storyline that you like help work with? Like,
help work with?
Yeah,
almost
if you can.
Yeah, I mean, like all of them. I guess the most noticeable one, for storyline, I guess the current storyline. I mean, right now the current storylines that we have, like the OPRW title between like Matt Ashford and ZE, it's been them two running it. Like I like to like make my superstars write their own stories. They've been doing a fantastic job at writing their own stories. But there's been other people that like sometimes struggle. Like for example, like sometimes MLG could struggle. I remember ATG coming to me, and a lot of times we would like write what we had to do for MLG, or even Jay when he was a world champion. I would do a lot of the writing for that. So anyone that really like needs it, I would do it.
Oh, let me stop you right there, Kinq. I wanted to ask, do you have or have you done anything when it comes to this ATG versus Kaysnn feud?
I don't know if you saw the segment today, but Kaysnn Jersey leaked to the public that he was the so-called leader of Sevenfold. Can't leak too much more on that because the storyline's gotta continue. You know, the story's gotta develop more. But I will say right now, Sevenfold was still my idea.
Really?
Yeah. You can't listen to everything Kaysnn says, man. You can't listen to everything he says. You know, a little bit of a liar. A little bit of a manipulator.
That's the Archon for you.
Yeah, he is the Archon.
I wanted to ask, what's your thoughts on this storyline? I mean, this has by far been one of the big.
Dude, we need to get rid of the fucking Archon. He is a cancer to the community. He has to go. All right, and that's what ATG is gonna do.
Is this you in kayfabe or is this you actually serious?
I'm serious, dude. I'm completely. We need to get rid of Kaysnn. He is a cancer to the community. He has to go.
Wow.
Right? We need to realize that Caden Jersey, he's back. He manipulated ATG to come back. He is not a good person at all. We need to get rid of him. He likes to make lies about me. He makes lies about ATG. He made lies about me today. Like
Really?
we need to get out of him. Yes, he needs to go.
Well, we're hoping. Well, many are hoping that ATG will be able to pull that off at OPRW Mania. Speaking of OPRW Mania, this is potentially the last ever.
Oh no, it is. It is. let me
Oh,
put that there. It
because
is.
Kaden had told me yesterday that the stipulation between him and ATG was if Kaden wins, OPRW stays, and ATG remains.
Well, Caden Jersey's not going to win. Let me make that very clear to you. All right. I will make sure Caden Jersey does.
What does
All right.
that mean? What does that mean, Kinq?
I will make sure no matter what happens, Triple A will leave with his hand risen at WrestleMania.
Oh, now, Pastor. So this is the final pay per view. What's going through your mind right now?
Dude, I'm excited. I'm very burnt out with the community in OPW. Just working on it for so long now. I hope it just ends with the bang we want it to bang with. I hope everybody enjoys it the way we've enjoyed OPW and how we've given back to the people. We've put a lot of time, me and ATG and the whole staff team. I can't neglect our staff team. We have the best staff team in the world. So
Kinq, I also wanted to ask, now that OPRW is coming to its end in just a few weeks, of
oh
course,
yeah.
of course, OPRW is the pillar of our community. It is the number one top fed. It has been the number one top fed for years. I do want to ask, can you give me your personal fed currently that you think is next up, that can not necessarily take the spot of
Ooh.
OPRW, but it will be number one upon OPRW leaving?
Uh, I've been working a lot with the newer Fed owners, just trying to help them out before we dip. But I think the person who's taken over number one is definitely RRW. I think Jai's got it. He's got the base of his federation already settled. He's got a good community. I think there's other feds that could definitely tangle after him. I don't think Jai's going to be a big pillar number one forever. I could see him maybe in that position for a year. It depends how long he really wants to host. But I think he's got a really good opportunity right now. I think he's going to do some really cool stuff. But the other feds that have gotten on my radar, I think Cubert, he's so young, he's so talented. I've had very good conversations with him about his Fed and DMs. I think Elite, I think that's owned by Sin, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Correct me
Yes,
if I'm
sir.
wrong. Yeah, I think Elite has been looking really cool. I've seen a lot, and a lot of my close friends that I have here have told me big stuff about Elite. I think APWA, Sim looks like a great developer. I think he could be a future top developer for the community as well. So I think those four feds that I just mentioned, with RW, I think taking number one are going to be the leading for the future.
And I also do want to ask, you are also leaving the community upon OPRW's leaving.
Yeah.
So what's next for you?
What's next for me? So I'm doing pretty good. Like I guess IRL wise, I've been ready to leave for about a year now. I'm 20 now. I'm fucking old, but I've got college. I'm about halfway done with that. I've got an internship going on right now. I've got a job. I'm set. I'm just kind of just dying with OPRW right now, just making sure it lays to rest quickly. I'm excited for it. So
Hmm. You, of course, have so
yeah.
much experience with a
Yep.
multitude of different things. You are incredibly talented, incredibly skilled with so many things. What advice? And I know you probably have been asked this so many times, but what advice would you give to Fed owners out there or to alliance owners out there that they could use to make their Fed the number one Fed?
I think the best advice I could give to being number one, I've got two really.
Mhm.
One, be as consistent as possible, and what I mean by that is always promote, always be active, never show that you want to do less. If you keep putting in the work in and you keep being consistent, your name's gonna keep going out there. People are gonna come to you because you're consistent. That's kind of what ATG did. ATG had like no breaks, always posted media. I mean, you look at OPW, there's like 5 to 7 graphics a day. Just keep pushing forward. And I guess number two is just run how you want to run. I think a lot of people focus on being different or unique. Focus on what you want to focus on and just execute it. If you have one idea and you're really passionate about that idea to do for a storyline or just a match, if you work really hard, you really think about it and put it into it, it'll come out nice. Trust me. It just does. That's my best advice for any Be consistent. Keep working.
I love that advice. I love the part where you mentioned never show what you do less.
Yeah, just keep going. Don't back down.
That's really inspirational. Kinq, I want to talk about character development for a moment. Of course, you
Mhm.
were the manager for Big Money in OPRW,
Correct.
and I want to talk about that. What does it mean to you when it comes to character development? Like, of course, OPRW has some incredible stars. You have Z.E. Lexner, Alad Strickland, MLG. You have so many amazing pro wrestlers out there. But a role wrestler, part of being a good role wrestler is skill, yes, but the other part of being a role wrestler is your character. If fans cannot get with your character, if you don't have a certain vibe with your character, you're not gonna make it. Is that true, or do you think like it's
Oh
just pure skill?
yeah. You can make it with skill, but if you want to be a complete package and you want to get your name out there, I think the character matters. I'm probably on the OPW staff team the biggest mark when it comes to character. I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I always say wrestling is a mix of wrestling and character. And again, I'm not trying to shame these people.
Hmm.
But I ain't gonna put it out here. I think clans suck. I hate clans. I think they ruin character. I think if you
Really?
share the same last name, it's hard to just build a character on your own because you're building your name off of somebody else's name. And I think that's completely opposite of what you're supposed to do as a wrestler. I think as a wrestler, either you find your own identity and you create, and it doesn't even have to be like super serious. It could be comedy. It could be you could be a big baby face. Like I'll always praise people that have good character. Like Michael Maverick. I think Michael Maverick is one of the greatest baby faces of all time.
Mm.
Great character, unique name, different look. You can recognize him in an instant. That's what you should thrive to be. I think if you're somebody who has like a clan name, um, for example, like the leagues, I've seen the Ishikawa. I think that's how you say it. I've seen that a lot on Twitter. The Darians. Maybe that could help you out now. Maybe you're like a rising star in wrestling, and that helps you become a bigger star. But I just don't think that will help you when you try and progress further. I'll always praise the guys with good character, like Michael Maverick, FaZe Jones, one of the best people I've seen with character work. He's fantastic. Ketnel, I always thought Ketnel, even though he is a Darien, I've always told him to diverse into something else. Great character. Especially when I did like El Doragon with him. He was amazing. He always creative guys, has a lot of cool ideas. Even Caden, as much as I hate Caden Jersey, I have to tell you, bro, the Arkin character has been really cool.
He does definitely have a persona to him. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
very creative and unique. Um, Kinq, I also wanted to ask you. Of course, you said you were a WWE fan. So I wanted to know, who do you think is currently the biggest draw in OPRW? And then when you ask that, I mean, when you answer that, I wanted to ask, who do you think is the biggest draw in pro wrestling in general? And by draw, I mean, like, who do you think, like, if you see him on Twitter, if you see him in a graphic, in a match card, whatever the case may be, or if someone knows they're fighting, like, they're going to get the most attention. People are going to come to see this match. So who do you think is the biggest draw in OPRW?
Biggest draw OPRWS to me. There's a difference, I think, between OPRW and Pro Wrestling. I think Pro Wrestling's biggest draw right now might be between like maybe Ked or Fade. I think as much as I have put out my dislike to Fade, I do respect Fade in a big way. He's very skillful. He can't take his talent away. He's done some questionable things, but I think as a draw, he's a draw. Like he will get his name out there. People are going to watch him. Same with Ked. I think OPRW, the biggest draw we've ever had was Core. I think Core is the greatest world champion in OPRW. I think his all his characters were very cool. I think when I see Core for anything, it's immediately a draw. Like people are going to tune into that. Maybe not recently because he hasn't been in the main event scene. I guess if you want to go more recent, I think the biggest draw we have is like maybe Matt. I think anything Matt Ashford's associated with the OPRW gets something.
Mm. I also want to ask you, you of course have been a multitude of roles. You've been a role wrestler, you've
Mm-hmm.
been a manager, you've been an owner of a Fed, you are the CEO of OPRW. With all these roles that you've had in the past, that you have currently, what has been your favorite role and why?
I kind of enjoyed all of them. The role I enjoyed the most, though, I mean, the honest answer is my current role because I don't have to work as hard and I still do what I like to do. Like
Mhm.
owning a Fed is fucking hard.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Constantly putting graphics out, the stress of hosting for a long period of time. It's a lot of time and it's draining. It's draining as fuck, and I envy ATG that he still does all that with the as active as he's been for the last 3-4 years now with OPRW. But I think my current role, where I'm sort of like the behind the scenes guy, because on screen I'm just a manager, but behind the scenes I sort of get to work a little bit of everything. I get to develop. I mean, my favorite personally is developing because it's just kind of my hobby. It's my career now. Um, but I just like the role I have. I don't have to go. I have a lot of time for myself. I can put the time when I want to into OPRW and make it how I want it to be. So yeah, it's definitely the behind the scenes role is my favorite for sure.
Kinq, I also want to ask you, because no matter who you are in this community, it is unfortunate. Actually, this goes for life in general. No matter who you are, no matter what role you play, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, there will be someone who will be hating on you, someone who will be criticizing you, someone
I
who
have
would,
plenty of them. Yeah.
yeah, dude, and someone who would just be going against you. You could be doing the most perfect thing, and they're still going to find a way to hate on it. So, King, I want to ask you, how do you manage hate? Some people say they use it as fuel and to fuel their motivation or whatever the case may be. Other people say they just block out the noise. But how do you handle the criticism, the hate, and all the negativity that people spew?
There's a lot of people that hate me. The cheaters fucking hate me because they don't want to get caught. People that have been mad at me for booking hate me. There's a shitload. There's probably like if you were to do a survey of maybe the most hated pro wrestlers right now, I'd probably be in the top 10 somewhere.
Hmm.
There's definitely a good chunk of people that dislike me, but I don't let it bother me. You just ignore them. I know what I'm capable of doing, and I know what the community needs me for, and that's what really matters. The noise doesn't bother me. It's just noise. Let it go. So that's the best I could say.
It's just noise. Let it go. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna have to start taking that and using that
Go
because
for it.
there's some people that yeah. Anyway, King, I
They're just
also
talking, bro. They're
yeah,
just
dude,
talking.
they're just talking. King, I also wanted to discuss going back to your career, um,
Mhm.
and you as a developer. You of course are known for developing the most modern technology when it comes to the ring teleportation system, the money in the bank system, the lighting system, the list goes
Yeah.
on and on. How were you able to develop that?
I ask for ideas from people, or I just get it in my head, and I just think of the most. What's the fastest way? I'm trying to think of that word right now off the top of my head. I guess the most reliable way to do stuff. I don't know, like the ring teleport system. I found it really inconvenient that people were like constantly typing ring slash or TP this, where you could just make a button and it just does it for you. I think when I look at pro wrestling, I try and make it as convenient as possible, and I guess as fast and reliable as possible. And that's kind of where all these systems came from, like the ring teleport. Like I saw Money in the Bank, right?
Hmm.
This was my view on it. When we used to do them before we have the current system, we would use TDs. It didn't make much sense to me because we all actively fight using the clean tool. Like we don't use TD unless it's like a rumble now, which we've changed to a clean or a Money in the Bank match. So like no one's used to fighting them, and it kind of lowers the skill that we already have within our community. So you just create an idea. I wanted to make it based off of cleans, and that's where I came up with the idea of making these systems. Just try to make the most convenient and reliable stuff possible. I think I've hit my peak when it comes to making stuff too. Because I'm honestly all out of ideas.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
That was actually
Maybe I could
very
like
fascinating.
remaster this stuff. Maybe I could like remaster my stuff. But I haven't made anything new in like the last 6 months. It's been pretty dead.
Well, you like you said, you
Besides
are
the crowd
leaving
system.
soon,
Yeah.
and so is there anything else we can expect from you before you leave? Is there any new
I might
systems?
repackage some systems. That's really about it. I'm trying to finalize maybe some anti-cheat stuff to maybe give out to Fed owners. That's kind of my main goal right now with cheats.
Mhm.
But as for just tech, maybe I could just replenish some stuff and post them out. That's probably the best you'll see from me.
Understandable, understandable.
To finalize like some code that I might have messed up like 2 years ago. That's it.
I think also I want to speak on this topic. I asked Caden this yesterday when I did his podcast, and
All
he
right.
said I asked him about alliances, and essentially he said that what he wants to see more from alliances is or was he talking about federations? Wait, let me see. Anyway, he basically saying that he wants to see more collaboration in the community, right? He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
like where alliance owners say this is a part of my alliance, therefore like we don't need to collab or whatever the case may be. So, what's your take on that? Do you think we should see more collaborations between alliances, or do you believe that Fed owners should stay exclusive to the alliance that they're in?
So I'll counter both of those and tell you my take. I think alliances in real wrestling are pretty pointless right now, or
Really?
just they have been. Yeah, alliances back then were different because the tech was different and it was completely different field. Like RCW dominated. So when they made the RWA, um, they were literally showing those feds that got into the RWA like everything that they were missing out on. So like Twitter, like feds weren't on Twitter. Like that was big, or like how to do this, like basic stuff that we do now. Alliances are more to me like a cult of like a group of feds, and it's sort of just kind of a power thing. I think pro wrestling could live off of like they can be off of alliances. I don't think it needs to be a necessity. I think allying with feds is a good thing. I think every fed should have like communication and just sort of work together. You know, maybe not to try and run each other over. I think that's like a respectable thing. But also, I'm for competition. I think competition is what makes you better. Like when I was running my Fed, I had to run against like two other Feds for my time slot. You know what I mean? That's what motivated me to keep
Oh, I'm so
going.
glad you brought that up.
So I'm cool with competition, but as long as it's safe competition, nobody likes stupid bullshit competition where it becomes toxic like that. That's just negatively affecting your Fed at that point. But I think for example, I think a good competition we're going to have right after OPRW ends is that race for number one. I think RRW is in the lead, but I've said other feds out there that can take it if they rise to the occasion. So I think every fed should be allied. I think allied events are cool. Like I've seen some feds do like two like collab events. I think those are pretty cool to see. But like alliances in general, I've always said for the last couple of years, I think they're pointless.
Interesting. That is so interesting. Do you
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that up. You talk about time slots. That's a
Yeah.
huge thing that I've been hearing from Fed owners out there. They're trying to find the perfect time slot, a time slot that works for everyone, that people can actually show up to. Of course, OPRW dominates when they host. So it's essentially
Yep.
like when OPRW is hosting, you know better. And
Obviously, yeah.
yeah. And so I wanted to ask, what's your take on those time slots? Like, do you believe
Oh, I've had
federations have
crazy
become?
talks.
You said what?
I've had good conversation on time slots, especially with Jai, because Jai hosts on Sundays. And my crazy hot take is a lot of Fed owners aim to host on weekends. And I don't blame you if you want to host on weekends, because that's when most people are gonna come. But you can host on a weekday and people like we host Nitro on Tuesdays and we still get great numbers.
Mhm.
Debatably better numbers than Cataclysm sometimes. So I think Fed owners need to stop. I think weekends should always like be to me. Besides maybe like Saturday night, I think Saturday night's kind of an exception. You could definitely host something there. But Sunday and just Saturday, like afternoon or early morning, save those for pay per views, man. Put all the pay per views on that. Stop putting time. I think we have weekdays, and sometimes I see the Fed like time slot build. Weekdays are so free. Who hosts on Mondays? I don't even know who hosts on Mondays. There's so many like days of the week where there's not a prominent Fed hosting there.
Yeah.
It's insane to me. Like, imagine we lived in a world where hypothetically CGW was on Monday, Nitro's on Tuesday, then you've got like a lead on Wednesday, APWA on Thursday. I'm just kind of making it up. Then you got like RRW on Friday, and then you have Cataclysm on like. Imagine you have a world where you have one big Fed to go to every day of the week. So much better than going to like three or four Feds on the weekend.
That's very true.
It's a
That's very
better
true.
feeling.
Do you think World Wrestling has become too overpopulated when it comes to feds? Because there's so many feds out there, dude.
Nah, I don't think it ever gets too over. But I think everyone has the right to own a Fed whenever they want to.
Hmm.
Whether it gets successful is kind of on them and what they build.
Hmm.
The Feds that you are seeing right now that are successful is because they are doing the right things. If you don't know the Fed, right, they're not successful. There's a reason you don't know about it. So I
But
think it isn't too overpopulated.
mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay, now that begs the question of this because I have a friend who recently started a Fed and he was supposed to host, right? But he canceled the show simply because there was another Fed hosting at the same time, which I believe it was Elite, right? And so,
okay.
like, for all Fed owners out there who are trying to build a Fed and trying to make a legacy for themselves and just trying to be the next top dog, how can they do that when there's just so many other Feds hosting at similar times?
That's where the art of competition comes from, dude. There's always going to be a time where you could host. It might not be the most convenient time for you, right?
Hmm.
Maybe you got to host on a 4 o'clock on a Thursday to like host. All right, but you have your own time. People can still like not everybody can make 4 o'clock Thursday, right? But people can still make it. If you're a small enough fed that you have to fit yourself on a 4 o'clock on a Thursday, you got to work with what you got. You got to build off of that, and eventually, if your name gets there, that's where you start moving. That's where you can eventually maybe compete against this Fed's time slot. That's why I'm always pro competition for it. That's why the more feds, the better, because that just makes people want to improve more. So if you're a small fed out there, maybe you're getting bullied by a certain fed and it's time, switch your time slot. Find some. There's so many. I have seen the fed time slot. There are so many open. There's no excuses to me, to be honest, about not trying to find a reasonable time slot. You have to work with what you have, and you need to know the level that your fed is at. Don't be unrealistic with it. Be realistic.
What's your biggest pet peeve when it comes to Fed owners? Because what my current biggest pet peeve is pacing. I cannot stand for a Fed to take so long to get on with their matches. Like it should not take like 6 to 7 hours on a regular show. You know what I mean? Unless you're like a really, really big Fed, right? So what's your biggest pet peeve?
I can see. I mean, I haven't been to a lot of the I guess the newer Gen Fed. I mean, I only really show up to OPRW and the occasional RRW show now and then. So I don't really know how bad the pacing is. I guess you would have more experience in that field, but I guess my biggest pet peeve for just feds that I see sometimes is just keep the. There's so many times that I'll occasionally make that stop to a fed
Mm-hmm.
and just watch what they're doing as I'm bored. Sometimes the whole show will just stop to see me. I'm not saying that in ego or just a big way. It's happened numerous times. And sometimes I'm like, just keep like I'm here, I'm watching you, but keep hosting it. I think pacing, like you said, is one thing, but I also think Fed owners have this issue, especially like the newer Fed owners that are always trying to make a name for themselves. When somebody big shows up to their Fed, they'll automatically like place them into your world title match or to their automatic picture. Example, like if you're a Fed that pulls 15, 20 people a show on like a Friday afternoon, and then Justino just shows up, sometimes I've seen people just automatically put him into something. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, he's a fucking draw, but pace yourself with him. Maybe work with the guy. I think Fed owners need to relax when it comes to that. That's something I see a lot of small Feds do.
You've
So
had a very interesting perspective this whole podcast. I really enjoy.
I've got a good perspective, a different perspective on our wrestling than a lot of people. So
Oh yeah, it really makes you think now. It really makes you think. I know JB said he had another question for you.
no, go on. What's up, JB?
Yo, I'm back. I'm sorry. Hey, yo, what's up, King?
What's up, man?
Hey, bro, I got one more question for you. Like, as somebody like coming back to the community, there's a problem that I see, especially with like everybody want to be like the Hollywood persona now. Like, how does someone like get into like deving or like making things for themselves? Like, have you ever did like Trons or have you ever like had to make scripts for your Fed?
Mm-hmm.
How does someone get into that field with no experience?
Dude, I say this most humbling way possible because of how far I've gotten. I started with absolute jack shit of knowledge. Like, you want to know how I learned how to get do what I do? I went into Roblox Studio and I just started fucking around. Um, YouTube. I mean,
Yo,
YouTube is kind of the best way you could do. I that's all I could tell you. Like, I could do good scripting. I could do decent animations now, and all I do is I go into studio and I fuck around. I went into studio around like 11, 12 years old. No idea what the fuck. I didn't even know how to fucking move in Roblox Studio.
really?
Um, yeah, absolutely no clue.
Wow.
And just started teaching myself. If you want to get into something, and I posted this on my Twitter account. I said the biggest skill you can learn in pro wrestling is literally a skill. Whether it's maybe making a tires, maybe it's building, maybe it's animating. If you just practice a little bit at that one skill, you could get so much off of that. Whether it's money, maybe more people will know about you. Just knowing a skill and having people to rely on you is such an advantage.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you just. Oh my god, I'm so glad you just said that.
Beautiful advantage, dude.
Yo, Kinq, I'm so glad you brought that up. I want to talk about that for a second before we let you go. I
Go
want
on.
to talk about monetizable things you can do in Roblox Wrestling, right?
Oh yeah, I've done it plenty of times.
Because of course there are tire makers, there are logo makers, Tron makers,
Yep.
developers, arena makers. The list goes on and on, right? But I want to specifically talk on the mobile community for a minute, right?
Mobile. All right. Yeah.
Are there any monetizable skills that a mobile player can essentially learn? If so, what are they?
Oh fuck yeah! I could tell you right now, the most I think the best one and the easiest one to do, because it's hard to do stuff on mobile. I mean, you're already kind of lingered because you can't go probably you can't go into Roblox Studio, so you can't animate, you can't make like in studio graphics, you can't script. It's pretty hard, so you're kind of limited. But I can't give them their specific name because it's been a while. But I think like you can do attires on mobile. I've seen, I forget who, but there was this one incredible road diva. She made attires on mobile, and she was incredible, and she was making fucking bank off of attires.
Really?
Yeah, I forgot her name. It's been a couple years, but I have seen a couple of like the real women make attires on mobile and absolutely cook.
But how
I think
how
that's
does
probably
a
the best thing
person
you can do.
learn though? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dude, you could probably ask somebody, maybe you know, or just I always like to say YouTube. So
yeah.
sometimes it's like just learn. I think that's probably the best you can do on mobile because you really can't do much on mobile. Are you a mobile person, or maybe you know somebody who's a mobile person? Is that why
Yes,
you're
sir.
asking?
I am indeed a mobile.
Yeah. So if I was you and you're on, I mean, what you're doing right now is not too bad. I mean, this is a pretty cool
Oh
game.
yeah, I really enjoy this. This is really cool.
Yeah, this is awesome. So this is one way. I mean, you already kind of did. I mean, maybe you're not making like money off of it, but you're definitely getting a name for yourself.
Oh yeah, dude, I can't tell you
Yeah.
how much recognition I gained.
So this is definitely something like this already is pretty big for you. And then I would say if you want to go money, the tires. I think for mobile, best way you can go.
Tires. Interesting, interesting. Kinq, as we begin to wrap up here, again, I can't thank you enough for giving us the
Oh,
absolute opportunity to have you on the Are You Relevant podcast. But there is just one last question that I must ask. I ask every guest this. It is, of course, the title of this talk show and podcast. Kinq, I want to ask you, are you relevant?
I think so. I think I got it.
Hey, that's all that matters. That's all that
I
matters.
think I made it.
Oh yeah, most
Yeah,
certainly,
it
most
was a
certainly.
pleasure, man. It was a pleasure.
I want to quickly thank my incredible staff team, Devon, Gent, Miguel, JB for coming on. This is his first podcast. He did absolutely amazing. He did better than me. I'm a little bit jealous. But I want to thank every single one of them for what they do for the Are You Relevant podcast. Of course, we want to thank our guest. This actually was supposed to happen weeks ago, but I've been just so busy with everything.
Yeah, man,
And
shit happens. It's fine. Here, let me help you out. Yo, everybody, everyone watching this, yo, subscribe right now. Subscribe to TJ Shoemaker right now.
hey,
There
thank
you
you,
go.
big dog. Thank you, big dog. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank Kinq for coming on, giving us his time, giving us so much incredible and just lucrative advice and information on the community, his takes on all the different things that we are saying. And as OPRW wraps up, we can't thank him enough for what he has done and the commitments and the dedication that he has gave to this community. But as you guys know, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you boys on the next one. But peace out.